My mom keeps copying me, so I confronted her about it. It's always been hard being the only daughter of a single mom. She was never perfect, but I never thought she would freak out like this. My mom and dad divorced before I was even born. I don't even know if I could call him my dad. He's not my biological father, but I don't know who else to call my dad. My mom had infertility issues while they were together, and I think that's why my dad left her. My mom ended up going to a sperm donor after he left, and ironically she got pregnant with me as a single mom. Now I'm 18 years old, and even though my life hasn't been the smoothest, I know my mom always tried the best she could to raise me. I think of myself as a good kid. My mom and I don't have much money, and ever since I got to high school, I've been working as hard as I can to one day graduate with a scholarship to a good college so I can earn a good degree and take care of my mom and myself. My mom can be a little emotional and sensitive, and ever since I was a kid she has struggled with panic attacks. I have memories of being a toddler and walking into my mom's room and holding her shaking leg as she cried her eyes out. Now that I'm older, I've learned the best ways on how to handle my mom when she's feeling anxious or just not acting like herself. Yet I could have never seen this coming. She's never acted so extremely, and I have no idea what to do. It all started a couple of weeks ago when I got home from school. I walked into the house and instantly recognized the sound of my mom crying. When I went into her bedroom, I found her curled up in a little ball on the floor, sobbing her eyes out. I could tell this wasn't normal crying, but the start of a panic attack. I sat with her and held her for a while, just letting her cry. Then I put a blanket on her while I went to make her some tea. After drinking her tea, she calmed down a bit, and I asked her what was wrong. My mom confided in me that she had a doctor's appointment that morning, and they had told her she had started menopause. Meaning her period would stop, and she would be unable to have kids anymore. She said she didn't want another kid, but it just made her feel useless and old and ugly. At one point she said she felt like less of a woman. I sat there and talked with her for hours, just trying my best to tell her how much I loved her and needed her and that she was still young and beautiful to me. I was as cheated by the time my mom calmed down and fell asleep. Little did I know, things would only be escalating from here. My mom keeps copying me, so I confronted her about it. The very next morning, I woke up sort of confused. I woke up to the sound of my own Spotify playlist blasting from the kitchen. It was strange. My mom often listened to music in the morning when she was in a good mood, but why my music? She never did that, I thought as I walked downstairs. When I got to the kitchen, the sight I was met with took me by surprise. My mom was cooking and dancing around the kitchen, looking to be in the complete opposite mood than she was in yesterday. But the weird thing was how she was dressed. She looked like someone out of an 80s movie like 16 Candles or something. She had this messy side pony on, some weird neon makeup, and she was wearing some of her old clothes from high school. The clothes were really outdated and didn't fit her well. I knew she was still in a sensitive state, so I didn't bring up her clothes and just ate breakfast and left for school. When I got home that night, my mom was in the living room, still wearing her old clothes, just dancing and swaying to my same playlist. She tried to get me to dance with her, but I told her I was tired. I did ask her why she started listening to my music out of nowhere, but all she said was that she wanted to stay hip. Things only got weirder as the next week went on. And I started to get seriously worried about my mom. The next day when I got home, she had dyed her hair platinum blonde. It didn't suit her, but I told her it did since she looked so excited about it. Then the very next day, she had done her makeup totally differently. She had only worn a little bit of crayon eyeliner before, but when I saw her today, she had a full face of 2016 glam. I'll hand it to her, that type of makeup is hard to do, and she did nail it. But she was still wearing her old high school clothes, and it just looked strange altogether. It wasn't until the end of the week on Friday that I felt like she crossed a line. When I came home from school, the house was empty. But when my mom walked in an hour later, I immediately noticed something different about her. Not only did she have that same 2016 full face again, but she was wearing one of my outfits. Down to the jewelry and shoes, it was obvious that she had gone into my room and made her outfit from exclusively my stuff. I have a lot of patience for my mom, so instead of getting mad, I calmly asked her why she had taken all my things without caring. She said she just wanted to try something new and my clothes made her feel pretty. I told her I was fine with her borrowing my clothes honestly, but she just needed to tell me. She understood, and I decided to ask a few more questions while she was listening to me. I just asked her if she was okay, and I mentioned the idea of her going back to therapy. My mom looked a little hurt, and she admitted that the news about her menopause had really affected her. She said that she was rarely struggling with feeling her age, and she knew she might look silly, but she felt desperate to do anything that made her feel young again. She started crying softly, and apologized to me for taking my stuff. She said she never meant to make me uncomfortable, and she was sorry my mom was going through an embarrassing midlife crisis. I hugged her and told her I could never be embarrassed of her, and that I loved her and I was here for her. When she calmed down a bit, I asked if she wanted to go shopping together and pick out some outfits for her. She jumped up and got as excited as a little kid. It was funny, I felt like I had a flashback of when I was a kid and I got excited after my mom said she was taking me out somewhere. It's funny how things change as you get older, but I was happy to be there for my mom. We had the best time at the mall. I got a good idea of my mom's style, and we bought her a bunch of really cute outfits that she loved. I know everyone says this about their mom, but my mom really is beautiful, and seeing her so happy made my heart explode. I feel bad about what she had been going through, but I'm just happy she was honest with me and let me be there for her. This entire thing had only improved her life and self-esteem and only brought us closer together.